Renting? It's a total trap. And banks absolutely love making you think you need them to escape it, but you don't. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're completely bypassing the bank. We're going to decode the ultimate real estate loophole, buying property with literally zero money down. So let's ask the million-dollar question. Do you really need a massive pile of cash to buy a house? Do you have to go beg a bank for their blessing? That right there is the ultimate real estate myth. It's a massive psychological barrier, and it's keeping millions of people stuck in an endless loop of renting. Well, guess what? It's wrong. Dead wrong. You actually do not need a bank. At all. What you do need is just the right seller. We're pulling our data today straight from Susan Smith Alvis's research on buying real estate without a down payment. And let's be totally clear right up front. This is not some shady late-night TV infomercial gimmick. We're talking about a strict, proven methodology. It's the exact system insider real estate investors are using every single day. Just look at this case study. We're talking about an investor who literally dropped out after the third grade. The guy couldn't even read, yet he died a millionaire from real estate. It just goes to show acquiring high-value assets has absolutely nothing to do with academic brilliance. It's all about leveraging a very specific and honestly kind of ruthless system.
All right, part one, the seller's true logic.
So you're probably thinking, why on earth would a rational seller just hand over the keys without getting a massive check up front? It sounds crazy, right? But think about a conventional seller. They have to sit through this painfully slow bank process. They risk their house sitting empty just for a one-time cash payout. On the flip side, an owner financing seller, they get a super fast closing, and they secure long-term interest income. They aren't just selling a house anymore. They literally become the bank. Plus, there's the psychological reality. Buyers give TLC, tender, loving care. Renters, they usually just give headaches. Sellers actively prefer zero-down buyers over traditional renters for a very simple reason. An actual owner maintains and improves the asset. That constant, exhausting renter turnover ceases to exist. And that saves the seller a massive amount of time and energy. Moving on to part two, 3 financing architectures. Method number 1 is pure owner financing. It's incredibly straightforward. Step 1, you negotiate the price. Step 2, the seller holds the mortgage as collateral. And step 3, you just pay the seller every month. No bank involved. The seller simply replaces the traditional lending institution. Method 2 is the assumable mortgage. Here, you find a seller who already has a loan, and you simply take over their payments. But hey, listen closely to this part. Lender release forms are absolutely mandatory here. You need an attorney to verify this so you don't accidentally inherit the seller's default liabilities. Seriously, never skip the legal paperwork. Then we have method 3, the overlapping mortgage. You secure a primary bank loan, sure, but instead of draining your savings for the down payment, the seller carries a second mortgage for that exact amount. The end result? Zero cash out of pocket for you. You're basically using their debt tolerance to fund your new asset. Which brings us to part 3. Realtors, allies, or enemies. Okay, we have to address the elephant in the room here. You might be thinking that realtors absolutely despise zero-down buyers. I mean, if there's no massive pile of cash exchanging hands at closing, how do they get paid? Will brokers just ignore you entirely? Wrong again. The competition in real estate is totally ruthless. Smart agents will eagerly structure deferred payouts just to get the deal across the finish line. A savvy realtor is actually an essential ally, definitely not your enemy. Now for part 4, fatal flaws and risks. Because look, this isn't all sunshine and free houses, okay? You need to know the brutal mathematical reality. The dream is instant property control without spending a dime up front. But the reality? With no money down, your monthly burn rate inherently spikes. You have absolutely zero margin for financial error. Let's rapid fire some of the fatal traps you have to watch out for. First, sellers secretly hiking up the asking price to compensate for their risk. Second, immediate foreclosure. Default even once and the seller takes the house straight back and keeps all your payments. Third, the absolutely disastrous mistake of skipping standard due diligence. In fact, the source lays out a very strict, non-negotiable rule. The price of the property should never go up because of the no money down transaction. This has to be your ultimate anchor. If a seller tries to penalize you on the core price just because of the financing structure, kill the deal. Walk away immediately. You still need to demand standard appraisals, demand termite inspections, demand physical home inspections. Even if the seller is acting as your bank, creative financing does not exempt you from needing rock-solid legal and physical protection.
The system exists. Insider investors use it all the time. Motivated sellers are out there waiting to collect interest instead of relying on slow, clunky banks. So the final question is this. Are you ready to finally stop the renting cycle, rewrite the rules, and let the seller become your bank? Definitely something to think about.